Hey, American people. I'm an Iranian woman talking to you from Iran. I don't know if they let you hear my message or not, but after the riots in Iran, Trump said he wants to save us, the Iranians. But we Iranian people do not need his saving, and you Americans do not need his lies anymore. His policies are harming both of us. His plan for Iran was clear from the beginning. He used sanctions as a weapon, not only against the government, but also against ordinary people like families, workers, patients, and students like me. He wanted the inflation to rise and daily life to become unbearable for us. And then when we protested against the economic pressure and not the Islamic regime, the Israel-backed agents, organized terrorists, and armed militias stepped in and turned our peaceful protests into violence and calculated acts of sabotage. And when they failed to regime change, that violence is now being used by Trump as an excuse to start a war against Iran, both to burn my country and to burn your tax dollars. Quite the opposite of his promise to put America first. But while he's blaming Iran and talking about freedom abroad, look at what he's doing to you, his own nation. You're peacefully protesting against racism and injustice, and yet your police and National Guard respond with tear gas and bullets. And now he wants to distract you by dragging you into another foreign war. We must stand together against the wrong and dangerous policies of those in power. You must not allow Trump to attack Iran, because if he does, my country will be damaged and your people will be buried. It's not a win-lose situation, only loss on both sides. I know you want no more wars. I know how many American families have already paid the price of war. You have sent your loved ones to fight in countries far from home. And I tell you that the war with Iran will not be as easy as kidnapping the Venezuela's president. I'm not the speaker of Iran's government, but all the Iranian officials have warned that thousands of American soldiers will die in the Persian Gulf and the U.S. military bases across the region. And this is not a threat. This is a reality of war. And we, the Iranian people, do not want this to happen to you. So you, the American people, must not let this crazy old man decide the fate of millions, because your lives and our lives worth more than his ambitions and his lost. Hey, American.
First, I want to correct something that Donald Trump said. The Israelis almost exclusively target civilians. It's not that Iran targets civilians, it's Israel that targets civilians. And there are tens of thousands, more than 100,000 dead in Gaza to prove exactly that. Listen, as an American, I want to believe that this was a terrible mistake, but my brain won't allow me to believe that. My brain wants me to believe that either we did this on purpose or the Israelis did it on purpose. It's to traumatize the Iranian people, to take the fight right out of them. I was talking about this on a podcast a couple of days ago, and I said the problem that we're already facing as a country here in the United States is that Donald Trump genuinely believed that as soon as we launched the first missile, the Iranians would be dancing in the streets, and the government would fall like a house of cards, and everybody would live happily ever after, and he would win the Nobel Peace Prize, and the Israelis would forever be grateful for our actions. But he was the only person that believed that. Anybody who follows these issues, anybody could have told him, we would not be seen as liberators. We would be seen as invaders and occupiers. Nima, I happened to be in Los Angeles the last couple of days until last night. And the Southern California media keep replaying this demonstration with 200 or 300 Iranian Americans, mostly Jewish, which is quite common in Southern California, dancing in the streets, waving the Shah's flag, waving the Israeli flag. And then our friend Max Blumenthal released a video of one of his journalists interviewing some of these pro-Shah, pro-Israel demonstrators, Iranian American demonstrators, and asking them specifically about the girls that were killed in this strike. And like ghouls, like demons, they say, oh, no, that's okay. We're okay with that because, greater good. In the end, it's all going to be for the best. Yeah, it's a shame maybe that these girls were killed, but probably the Iranians did it. But we're okay with it. It's okay to kill children. On the one hand, that is so sick that I don't even have words for it. On the other hand, if you are Benjamin Netanyahu or Donald Trump or Pete Hegseth or Marco Rubio or Itamar Ben-Gvir or any of these other crazy people that are involved, embrace what you believe in. If you're so certain that you're right, embrace it and say, yes, we killed those children. Yes, and we don't apologize. And we're going to kill more children. Own it. At least be honest about it. And they're not even being honest.
Breaking news. This is Tel Aviv today after a barrage of missiles from Iran came through last night. The attacks continue today with fewer missiles, but many more drones that America and Israel cannot stop. Today, Iran launched a new generation missile, and the Iranian missiles and drones are dominating the Israeli skies. An Iranian drone struck a U.S. base in Kuwait, damaging key U.S. facilities. And 3 hours ago, the IRGC Navy hit the USS Abraham Lincoln, and the carrier retreated. Also, a ballistic missile dropped on a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia within inches of hitting U.S. soldiers, and U.S. soldiers have it on tape. I have never seen Tel Aviv look like we're seeing it now. I know that Netanyahu and the whole Israeli society has to be shocked at what Iran and Hezbollah are doing to them. And I have to be honest, I am as well. Last night, Iran used a cluster bomb that did major damage, and Israelis are crying foul and saying that it is against international law. Well, Israelis, in 2006, an IDF commander said they fired more than 1 million cluster bombs into Lebanon. Were you guys crying against international law then? I didn't think so. Trump posted on his Truth Social today and said there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. He also said he'll be the one choosing who leads Iran next. What world is this guy living in? I thought he wanted Iranians to choose their leader. Oh, I get it. It's choose, and if I don't like it, keep choosing. Anyways, stay tuned for more updates.
We are not winning this war in Iran. We went in guns blazing without a plan, and Iranian leadership was ready for us. And they are currently destroying American military bases across the Middle East at such an incredible scale that I don't think we understand the magnitude of the loss. The American military bases in Bahrain and Kuwait and Qatar and Saudi Arabia are among the largest military facilities in the world. These bases have cost us trillions of dollars over multiple decades to build. It has been a huge amount of our military spending over 30 years, and it's just going up in smoke. We've lost radars that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, including one Iran took out that was $1 billion at the most fortified U.S. base in the Middle East with a single missile. A radar that was the backbone of all of our missile defense systems in the Gulf. It's really bad. I'm not sure our military has ever suffered this kind of destruction, but we've also never had such unprepared, unserious, piss-poor leadership before either. The new statistic is this war is costing us $1 billion a day. That's about $42 million an hour, $11,000 a second. And while this administration is telling us we are kicking ass and they're putting out their high-end America fuck yeah propaganda, in the background, they are summoning defense firms to the White House for emergency meetings and asking for more money for the Department of War. After getting an extra $120 billion a year from the big beautiful bill, these people are already asking for another $50 billion. Our military budget is already $1 trillion a year. Where is this money going? Right down the toilet. That's where. Did you vote for this? Do you want this? Or do you maybe want a living wage and healthcare and to be able to afford a home in a safe and secure nation? We're not winning. The US and Israel have powerful bombs that can blow up buildings. But as we know now, most of Iran's military infrastructure and weapons are deep underground where we can't get at them. And it appears that Russia and China are sitting on the sidelines just feeding top-tier satellite intelligence directly to the Iranian government and just tracking our every move. We've started something we have no chance of finishing. We don't have an unlimited supply or an infinite arsenal. We don't even seem to have a goal. The question is, how long do we do this? We're a week in. How much of our resources are we going to spend? And do we plan to add our children's lives to the mix? When asked if we could expect violence on our own shores from this, Trump was like, well, maybe. I mean, it's war. That happens. Come on. This war was unnecessary and ill-planned and will not make our country or the world more safe and prosperous. We are not winning. All we are doing is bankrupting ourselves while we create even more enemies and ruin our position in the world. You want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse? Well, here it is.